This is Stefan with TradeAtomy. Welcome to the video about the expert settings, where I show you how you can customize the shortcuts for the edit prices dialog, the deleting of the lines and the Fibonacci dialog, how to customize the docking of the sidebar, and how to set up your own themes for the sidebar, and how to customize the toolbar within the sidebar, and one very special settings about the replication of the alert settings. The expert settings can be found in an XML file that is under the path that you have specified, or the default path would be in your documents folder, TradeAtomy, and then TradeAtomy Global TrendLines. And there will be an XML file, and the reason that the expert settings are in this file is that they are either too complex to put them in the normal inputs, or I have considered them to be expert settings that are not used by too many users, so they are kind of outsourced in this file. So you search for this file and then you open it with the editor of your choice. And we have the first three settings here are the shortcuts. They're pretty self-explanatory. It's called shortcut delete. That will be the key that you hold down to delete a line. Then the edit prices dialog and the Fibonacci dialog. I will show an example how to do that. We have three keys available, that is Control, Alt and Shift. And you can combine up to two of them with the plus sign. I want to show an example for the deletion of lines. You could use Control plus Alt, and when you save that file and then go back to TradeStation, you will have to restart the indicator. And from now on we don't have the Control key deleting the lines, but only when we hold Control and Alt at the same time and click on any of the drawing objects. The reason for that is that mainly if you use chart trading from TradeStation, that basically shares the sidebar now with the global trend lines. You see already here in this little quick tips that pop up that if you hold Control and click, then it will place orders. But while we are here, just want to show if you have both indicators turned on, they create tabs where you can go back and forth. And these shortcuts can just be altered, so you can work with both the global trend lines and the chart trading at the same time. So going back to the settings XML, you can do that for each of these shortcuts, and you don't want to use the same shortcut twice, but you could use Control Alt and then only Alt for the edit prices. That works. And as said, you have these three keys available and you can combine up to two of them. The next setting I want to focus on is the SB doc, and you have basically 5 options here, of which are 3 viable. You can use numbers from 0 to 5, and 4 would be docking on the right, 3 would be docking on the left side. I'll just put 3 here and restart the indicator. And we see now that the sidebar shows up on the left side of the chart. I'll put that back to 4. And now we're going to look at the themes. You can create your own themes. I would recommend you start with copying one of the default themes. So you want to be within this tag for SB themes, and then can take one of the themes and copy it and paste it here. And you want to give it a different name. The themes work with RGBA colors. So that's something that you can easily find online. I opened this website here that I just found by putting scheme colors in Google, but you can type like colors, RGBA colors, something like that. You will find a lot of resources online, and I decided for this example we use this calming spring color scheme, so we give it the name spring. And now I want to show a quick mapping of the colors to the sidebar. Start this one. Okay, so now what we have here is the RGB codes, and the A is missing. The A stands for alpha and is a value between 0 and 1. And 1 means it has no transparency, and the closer you go to 0 increases the transparency. So for the general background, I choose Misty Rose. And the foreground we know is the text color. We choose a different color here. Use this classic blue. So I get the RGB value from this and put it here. And for the DO background, I use this color. Input background green. The separator line I will not change here for the sake of speed. And then we have over, where we use French rose. And I leave the alpha value here at 0.2, so we have this opacity effect. And for the success, I use this one. And then for the warning and error, we leave them as they are. I think you get the concept by now. So I save this, and if we go back to TradeStation and we go to the inputs of the indicator, we can select now our sidebar theme that's called Spring. And we can now see that the colors changed according to the new values that we have put in the theme. Another setting you can change from the settings.xml is the toolbar. We have all the buttons within this tag, and you can delete them or change the order. So let's assume you want to keep the toolbar compact and you don't want to have the lock button in there. What you can do is you should first save that somewhere else so you can always come back, and then you can delete one of the lines here, restart the indicator, and now the lock button is not in the toolbar anymore. And you can also change the order here. If you want to have the delete button at the end of the buttons, then you could simply cut and paste it here, save the file, restart the indicator, and now the delete button is at the end of the toolbar. The last setting that you could change from the settings XML is the alert replicate. It's turned false by default, and this pertains the TradeStation alerts. So the indicator works in a way now that it replicates the lines and all its properties, but not the alert. So if you would come to a line and turn on the TradeStation alert, so you can either do that from here. So we have the alert now turned on for the horizontal line 7, but this alert will not be replicated on this chart and all other charts. That is because I think if you have an alert and you have multiple windows open, you most likely don't want to have multiple alerts for every window that you have the drawing object on. But for the rare case that you would want to have that, you could set this alert replicate to true. And As usual, we have to restart the indicator whenever we change this XML. And in this case, we will have to start the indicator on all the charts, just to have the latest settings loaded. If you turn on the alert on this chart, it will automatically turn on here and also on this chart. So now we will have the alert settings from here turned on every chart, but keep in mind that if the line is touched now by the price, you will also receive alerts from every chart.